And now, if you don't mind, we're going to get to the news. President Trump told reporters today aboard Air Force One that he'd love to run for president again in 2028, but added, quote, "I haven't really thought about it." You haven't thought about it? You have merch. That's like James Cameron saying he hasn't thought about Avatar 4. President Trump announced over the weekend that he will impose an additional 10% tariff on imports from Canada after the province of Ontario released an ad that showed former President Ronald Reagan criticizing tariffs, which is bad news for this lady who just imported something from Canada. President Trump announced last week that a friend sent a check to cover military paychecks during the government shutdown. Now they just need to convert it from Marlboro miles. President Trump attended a dinner hosted by the Association of Southeast Asian Nations yesterday in Malaysia. You know, whenever I get bummed out about what a bad president he is and how he's destroying the country, I remember that at least he still has to do stuff he hates. Because, you know, he didn't know who anybody was, he hated the food, he doesn't know these countries. He was like a kid in church for a 2-hour mass on a perfect summer Sunday. And sometimes that's all we have. When asked last week if President Trump enjoys gambling, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that she was not sure. He literally owned casinos. That's like asking this guy if he likes tricks. Clearly he does. After Robert De Niro called him a Nazi, White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller said in a recent interview that De Niro is a, quote, sad, broken old man. I don't know. I think they both look pretty good for De Niro's age. During a tele-rally last night for New Jersey Republican gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli, President Trump promoted Ciattarelli's ability to lower energy costs. I mean, it's Jersey. They could just turn down the setting. A deli in Queens is offering a so-called Curtis Sliwa Hero, which features grilled chicken, roasted red peppers, arugula, and fresh mozzarella. They also have a Cuomo Hoagie, which is a sandwich nobody wants, but they give it to you anyway. A middle school in Oregon recently served students soft pretzels that had been mistakenly sprinkled with oven cleaner. Yes, said the lunch lady, mistakenly. A pig named Norbert recently set a Guinness World Record by skateboarding 33 feet in under 12 seconds, while the previous record holder was delicious. And finally, today was the 121st anniversary of the opening of the New York subway. To get an idea of what the subway was like back then, ride it today. President Trump claimed this week that he is currently getting the, quote, best polling numbers that I have ever received. Okay, I don't know if the people around you are showing you the real numbers. Does the newspaper they showed you also have a picture of Stephen Miller as a sheriff? President Trump also claimed that Republican gubernatorial candidates would lower energy costs and said, quote, under President Trump, gasoline will come down to approximately $2 a gallon very soon. And it is objectively very funny to put the word me in that post, as if we might not know who President Trump is. That said, a lot of his supporters are the same people who can never remember the name of the main character. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump are set to host a Halloween celebration on Thursday at the White House, but it looks like they already left their jack-o'-lantern out too long. The Trump administration has posted a timeline in defense of its controversial East Wing demolition project that features so-called major events that took place at the White House, which includes the discovery of cocaine in the building during the Biden presidency. Okay, but it clearly wasn't his. I mean, look at him. He's like the bear they put on tea. President Trump posted a photo of himself sitting in the Oval Office where he appeared to be lit by a spotlight, but it was just the sun coming through the gaping hole in the wall. Tesla has issued a recall for more than 63,000 Cybertrucks because the front lights are too bright. Apparently, you can see people laughing at you from up to 300 yards away. French police said they've been working around the clock to track down the suspects in last week's Louvre jewelry heist. Working around the clock, or as it's known in France, 10:30 to noon and then like 2 to 3:30. And finally, the New York Knicks issued a cease and desist to mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani after his campaign released an ad that featured the team's logo with the word Knicks replaced with Zohran, while the Giants are claiming Andrew Cuomo stole their idea to lose all the time. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung hosted President Trump today for lunch, which included seafood salad tossed in Thousand Island dressing. And long story short, now there's a 400% tariff on Korea. The is this? During his address yesterday to U.S. troops in Japan, President Trump said that it has been less than 1 year since he won the 2024 election and added, quote, "It doesn't feel that way." No, it really doesn't. In fact, I can't remember a time when you weren't president. You're like Jack Torrance in The Shining. You've just always been here. During his address yesterday to the U.S. sailors in Japan aboard the USS George Washington, President Trump danced with the crowd to the song YMCA. Yes, it's just too bad that the village people didn't have any songs about being in the Navy. During the same address, President Trump also said that the Navy rallies to that immortal battle cry of the American sailor, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." Well, it's certainly catchier than our new battle cry,
"No more beardos."
Well said. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced this week that the U.S. carried out strikes on vessels in the Pacific Ocean that were allegedly carrying drugs. I mean, one look at the captain and it was obvious. President Trump announced yesterday that Toyota has promised to invest $10 billion in U.S. manufacturing plants and said, quote, "Go out and buy a Toyota." All right, first you wanted us all to buy Teslas. Now you're pushing Toyotas. He's like a salesman who keeps getting demoted. Pretty soon he's gonna be out on the White House lawn yelling, "You gotta get yourself a Schwinn." According to analysts, the annual average price of gold will reach a record high next year of more than $4,000 per ounce because someone is hoarding it. President Trump said on Monday that he took another cognitive test during his recent trip to Walter Reed Medical Center and added, quote, "The first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. Buddy, I think that may have just been a book in the waiting room." A video from an animal rescue group has gained attention online that features dogs at the Chernobyl nuclear disaster site that appear to be bright blue. In related news, this show just got really depressing. 5 New Jersey towns have plans to reschedule Halloween trick-or-treating for October 30th. This only a few months after the 4th of July was rescheduled for most of June and half of July. It was announced this week that this year's Rockefeller Center Christmas tree will be a Norway spruce from East Greenbush, New York. Wow, you really can't bet on anything with FanDuel. And finally, in an effort to prevent Halloween parties and rentals, Airbnb this week announced it will take new proactive measures, including anti-party technology. So now every house will come with an acoustic guitar. Yeah, I think I might head home. During a meeting yesterday with South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, President Trump promoted his efforts to broker world peace and added, quote, "There were countries that nobody knew that they were even fighting." Nobody knew, or you didn't know? Did you guys hear there was a Second World War? Why is no one reporting on this? During an address to business leaders this week in Tokyo, President Trump said that an insane asylum is a, quote, "mental institution on steroids." What? No. A mental institution on steroids is just this guy. During the same address, President Trump said that former President Joe Biden could not have handled his rigorous travel schedule and added that his security team recently asked him to walk a quarter mile. Wow, a whole quarter mile. I hope they got you a Sherpa. Don't they know how far that is? That's like a longish par 4. President Trump also praised Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and said, quote, "How good is he on television? Man, that's all he cares about. If Bessent ever steps down, the next Treasury Secretary is going to be the Geico Gecko." President Trump announced yesterday that South Korea is set to build a nuclear-powered submarine in Philadelphia, and it's set to be destroyed if the Eagles win the Super Bowl. General Motors announced yesterday they will cut thousands of jobs in Michigan, Tennessee, and Ohio. On the bright side, it should be a great album. Authorities in Michigan told parents to be on the lookout after discovering candy and snacks containing THC and hallucinogenic mushroom products. Said parents, "Oh, we've been on the lookout for those." Sheriff's deputies in Mississippi euthanized several monkeys this week after they escaped from an overturned truck whose driver mistakenly told authorities that the primates were infected with COVID-19 and various sexually transmitted diseases. I mean, that's not exactly a danger. That's more like your average college Halloween party. The New York Times yesterday released a list of its favorite little treats in New York City for under $20. For example, you can pop into your neighborhood bar and have most of a cocktail. This weekend is the New York City Marathon, where tens of thousands of runners will take part in the fastest way to get from Brooklyn to Midtown. According to a new report, candy prices have increased this Halloween by 10.8%. This news first reported by 111 Grand Bar. In honor of Halloween, the restaurant chain Applebee's is offering a tipsy zombie cocktail, which includes rum, passion fruit, pineapple, cherry, lime, and a gummy brain. It's the only cocktail where you have to show a fake ID. And finally, Chipotle is offering its Halloween burrito for the 25th year in a row. And after one of those, you'll be praying that someone TPs your house.